Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to an impromptu Q&A video. It won't be a long one, but I just finished Final Fantasy 16. We got some extra time here on the stream, and I told everyone I'd do some open Q&A with them to kill the stream and, end the final leftover time. So let's go. Let's see what people want. Are you going to do GTA Online, GTA 5 Online? No, we're not doing that. No intention of doing that. What do you think are good ideas for the next Final Fantasy? Here's what I'm thinking. All right? Why on earth don't they make a Final Fantasy with modernized graphics, modernized things in it, but it's like a classic Final Fantasy, right? So why don't you have like plot elements, things like that are classic Final Fantasy, but now do it in a modern era? They've never done that. If you look at the classic Final Fantasies, a lot of them are medieval, right? Some of them are steampunk, but a lot of them are medieval. Classic magic, turn-based combat. Of course, you can do variations on that to make it more interesting. But they never did that. If you take a look at the modern era of gaming, which we can argue has been like the last 10, 15 years. 13, went off of that in a different direction, changing the turn-based combat into this thing with the ATB system was very different, right? 14's an MMO. 15 is a freaking open world road trip with action-based combat. And 16 is a complete action-based game, right? Whatever happened to what Final Fantasy was supposed to be? Why not go back to that formula? Why not make a Final Fantasy, but with everything modernized, so it's like an epic, wow, all those iconic Final Fantasy creatures that we've always seen in the classic games now brought into the modern era, but it's kind of turn-based, but it could have other elements too that are modernized. That's what I don't understand. It's like every Final Fantasy of the last 10, 15 years, like, we have to reinvent the wheel with this one. Why? Why do you have to reinvent anything? Final Fantasy is iconic as it is. Just make a new Final Fantasy with better things in it for the modern era, utilizing modern technology. And I think people would love that. It's like they're so intent on abandoning what they did in the past that they don't realize that's what they were known for. That's what people want. That's what's going to work. It's really confusing. Oh, let's see here. Chumbaget says you need to play Octopath Traveler 2 if you want that classic old school turn-based goodness. Yeah, and of course that came out earlier this year, but we didn't have a chance to play it. Maybe I will eventually. Oh, let's see here. Lost Odyssey is literally what I described. Oh, I know, Neo Maxim. And I told you guys forever I wanted to play Lost Odyssey. I played it back in the day. I absolutely loved that game. It was everything I wanted. It was like classic JRPG. It had a big difficulty element to it where you needed to be good at the game to really excel at it. It had a really great plot. It had modernized graphics. Of course, now the game's very outdated, but it was a great game at that time. I agree with you. Joel Oloff says you're playing AC Mirage later this year. Do you prefer the more condensed approach they're going with and return to the roots? Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with what they did with modern AC. Going open world, but maybe becoming more like Witcher or something like that. The problem is they abandoned all the elements that made Assassin's Creed good to begin with. Just like Final Fantasy just did with 16. It's like, we don't want anything from the past. Well, people like the past. That's why they played those games. I mean, you had the first one, the trilogy of 2, 3, 4, and then like 5 more that were all the same. Then you decide to change, and it was all right. But why'd you abandon your roots, right? So if they do the classic Final Fantasy, that would probably work. If they're doing classic Assassin's Creed, that will probably work. But then you could continue with other games as well that are the open world, and you'll have 2 audiences that both like these game franchises. I think it would work. So, yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. I'm down for Assassin's Creed Mirage. I think it's going to work well. Let's see here. Yeah, Ellipsian, there's not enough time, though. He says, I'd rather see you play Lost Odyssey than Chrono Trigger. We literally have less than a month until all the hot new game releases come out for the fall, starting with Starfield in September. I don't have time to play an incredibly lengthy RPG. We just finished one in Final Fantasy 16. There's no time for another. So if I'm going to play something, it's got to be shorter. Chrono Trigger, it's a decent length, but not insanely long. There's enough time for me to play it over the month and enjoy it. It's a retro playthrough I wanted to do it for a decade with an interactive audience. I think that it's going to work. So that's why that was going to work. Lost Odyssey, I want to play. Now we don't have enough time for it because we had to be stuck with this fucking thing for a month and a half. Will I ever play Street Fighter 6 arcade mode? I don't know. Does anyone want me to? All arcade mode is you picking a character and fighting a bunch of AI opponents in a ladder style, and then there's a final fight with a cutscene. And the cutscene apparently in this one is only a splash screen of a hand drawing. That's it. Not even like an animation. It's just a hand-drawn frame with some text on it. That's it. So there's not much to arcade mode. I don't really see the point. Unless there's a reason to do it. I don't know if there is. Are there unlocks? Do you get a reward? I don't see. I don't know. Willow, you know I haven't been to New Zealand. You can stop asking that. I outright told everyone the only place I've been outside the U.S. was Canada. So you know I haven't been there. Joel Loft says, I know you disliked Outlast 2. Are you looking forward to playing Outlast 3 when it releases? I don't know when it comes out. You know, the thing is, I heard it's very different, right? Is it not like a completely different take? So as long as it's a different take, I think I would give it a shot, you know? So. We're pretty booked for August. So here's what we're doing in August. GTA 5 is now a daytime stream. I know we're playing it late tonight, but it's going to be a daytime stream. I'm balancing that with Street Fighter 6. We're going to do probably Chrono Trigger as long as this mini PC works, which we have to test. And then we got a bunch of anniversary events coming up, right? We got a React event for Project 7. We got a tier maker for my Game of the Year Awards countdown. We got a big React event at the end of the month, a marathon, right? We got my weekly React shows. We got tons of stuff to do. It's not like there's a lack of stuff to do. We have tons of content for this month. We're not lacking and needing more. All right. I've already said we're not doing Baldur's Gate 3. Too long of a game. Not the style of game that I would be good at. The only way that game would work is if it was the only game you're playing for like 2-3 months and you're immersing yourself in that world and that universe and its lore. That's not the kind of streamer I am. I'm a variety streamer. We tried it with Divinity Original Sin 2. It did not work. I played that game for over 60 hours and people were so bored they demanded I stop, so I did. There's no point to getting into another game like that. It just doesn't fit the format of streamer I am, okay? Other people, it might work. Not for me. Outlast 3 is going to be called Outlast Trials. Yeah, I heard it's different. I heard it's very different from the other games, so I don't know. Am I looking forward to Starfield? What features am I hyped for? I'm not hyped for any features. I just want it to be a good Bethesda game. We haven't had a brand new good Bethesda game in ages. I mean, what was the real last one? Fallout 4? And even that's questionable because a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was good, but a lot of people didn't like it. So we just need a new Bethesda game, and we're finally getting one. So that's what I'm pumped for. I just hope that it works and it's a good game. I hope it doesn't suck. Really. We don't need that on you know, now that Bethesda's owned by Xbox, we really need some good games on Xbox consoles, and hopefully this is a good one. We'll see. No, I do not know Spanish. I can understand when most people speak Spanish. I can get the gist of what they're saying because I took Spanish in high school. So if you said a couple sentences in Spanish to me, I'd probably understand what you said. But I can't speak it. So. Outlast Trials is actually a spin-off project. Oh, I didn't know that. See, I don't know. I'm out of the loop. Canadian Kirk says top 5 favorite games off the top of his head are Battlefield 1942, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10, Metal Gear 4, and Infamous Second Son. What are mine? I don't work that way. For example, if you were to say what was your favorite fighting game of all time, I'd say Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. If you were to say what's your favorite platformer ever, I would say Super Mario World. Right? That's how I am. If you were to say what's your top 5 games, I can't answer that. The games are so different in genre. Like I'm not gonna say Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 is better than Final Fantasy 4. That's stupid. They're not even the same. They're amazing games in their own right. They're best in class. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. So I'm not going to rank games like that. But so, you know, that's not how I am. I've never seen the Barbie film, nor do I plan on seeing the Barbie film. I usually don't watch films I have zero interest in, for the record. No, I'm not getting Atlas Fallen. Don't know much about it. It looks like we're good for the month. Between GTA 5, which we're about 12 hours into, and that's probably going to take 40 hours to play. Continuing on with Street Fighter 6, which I've been doing really good at recently. And now having more anniversary-style projects and chill streams, I think we're good for the month. I don't think we're looking for any other content. I don't know why people think we are. We don't have time to fill. And one person just said Barbie was trash. The next person said Barbie was awesome. There you go. Am I finishing this year's releases with a playthrough of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora? If it still comes out in December, I'm interested in it. The game genuinely looks good. It looks like Far Cry with elements from Avatar, and it looks like that would work for a game. So yeah, I'm down for that as long as it does come out in December. Excuse me. Would I play Max Payne 3 down the line again at some point? Maybe. I mean, at launch, it was such a broken mess. I'm curious how it would play today. Particularly, even with it not being buggy, I still didn't like it that much, you know? But the bugs just made it so frustrating. I hated it. I remember I really didn't like that game when I played it years ago. Prisoner says, if NK1 turns out to be really good, will you focus more on that and less on Street Fighter 6? I mean, the way I see it is, there's no way I'm going to be juggling tons of fighting games at once, right? There's no way. No one's going to be here at DSPGaming to see me play 2 fighting games and 1 other game. Plus, in the fall, there's a ridiculous amount of new games. So the way I see it is, likely, if MK1 is really good and people want that more than Street Fighter, I will still play Street Fighter, but maybe you have to tone it down. Maybe Street Fighter would be a night stream 1 or 2 times a week. Mortal Kombat would be some day streams and balance that with other games. But Street Fighter would be cut back dramatically. Essentially, what would happen is I probably wouldn't be playing with new characters in Street Fighter anymore. I'd probably pick like a top 4 and only play those characters and try to get better with them. And whenever I play, use those characters. And that's about it. You know, what else would I do? You don't have unlimited time or resources to try other characters, right? Would I ever consider getting a hitbox controller? I don't know. It might work well. Like, I was thinking about it. If you're just using buttons to use directions, and as long as you get that muscle memory in your hand to memorize the directions, I think it could work fine. It would just take a little bit of effort and work to memorize, right? But, yeah, I think it would be all right. I don't know. That's my style. I've always used the joystick, and I'm just comfortable with it. So why step outside of my comfort zone? Maybe, again, if I was a high-level tournament player and I cared about that itty-bitty increase in reaction time or whatever, maybe then I would get a hitbox, but I'm not really there, you know? No, I've never been to Ontario, Canada. The one place I went was Newfoundland, Canada. That's the only place I've been outside of the U.S. To what do I attribute my extreme skill in fighting games like Street Fighter 6? First of all, you say extreme skill. It's not extreme skill, all right? It's better than most. Let's put it that way. But it's not competitive level. Right now, I have no confidence that if I went to an in-person tournament that I'd make the finals or anything like that. Like, really. Maybe I'd beat a few people, but likely I would lose by the end. I just don't play enough, and I don't have that edge like I used to. But it is an accomplishment that I hit Master with Blanca. Absolutely it is. Why do I attribute it to? The fundamental knowledge of fighting games and Street Fighter from playing them so much back in the day. Keep in mind, I was playing arcade versions of Street Fighter all through the 90s and into the early 2000s. And then in the 2000s, traveling to play competitive Street Fighter constantly all the way through 2007-ish when I finally quit. If I didn't have literally 15 plus years of fundamentals under my belt, I'd be starting from scratch and I wouldn't be nearly as good as I am. So that's really what it is. It's those years and years of fundamentals that allow me to jump into a game like Street Fighter 6 and get a heads up, right? And then, of course, me actually liking the mechanics of the game this time around. I hated Street Fighter 5. And dedicating the time to do it, you know? That's what it is. I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else. I don't think I have better hand-eye coordination than anyone else. I don't think I have better reflexes than anyone else. It's just having that prerequisite Street Fighter knowledge and being able to apply that to a new game and then dedicating the time I did. I mean, I put a lot of time into it in the last 2 months, right? So, there you go. Why not visit Vancouver, Canada? I would like to do tourism in Canada one day. Eventually, I hope I can get to that. Right now, I literally can't do any of that. One day, I would like to be able to go on a vacation with my wife and do stuff, but it's not in the cards right now. All right, what do we got? We got a few more minutes, guys. What do you got for me? Tag me in the chat. Come on. How dare you? I'll see you tonight, Willow. Do I ever buy frozen pizza? Yes, we buy Freschetta frozen pizza. It's the big round one, and you bake it in your oven for about 27 minutes. We have a pizza pan, and it comes out. You cut it up into regular slices. It's quite good. It's got really tasty toppings. That's why we like it. Replay Resident Evil games. I have. We have replayed a lot of them, right? We replayed Resident Evil 1 earlier this year. Which one did I replay earlier this year? 1, right? Yeah. Resident Evil 1, the remake that they had done, we replayed that one. I would love to. I told you I would be interested in Code Veronica or Zero, because those I've only played once ever. It was the HD versions on, digitally downloaded, and it was like the first few summers that I lived here, probably like 2014, 2015 is when I did them. It was a long time ago. I would love to redo those. No, I would never return to Final Fantasy 16 in the future. Why in the holy hell would I do that? What a waste of time, right? I didn't like it the first run. Why on earth would I play it more? Just like when people say to me, will you ever go back to Cyberpunk 2077 and play their expansion? Well, I didn't like the base game. Why would I pay more money to play the expansion? It's like, oh, I already don't like what I got the first time. Let me pay more for more of that, please. No, I'm not doing that. Is Lies of P still on the menu? No idea. I'll play the beta. I'll play the demo, and I'll judge based off of that. Because it is Game Pass, it makes sense that when it comes out, I would probably give it a shot regardless. And if I don't like it, then we'll drop it. But since it's Game Pass, kind of a no-brainer that I would at least try it, right? I have no idea. Canadian Kirk, I know nothing about Vancouver, so I couldn't tell you what I would do on vacation. I'd have to research it. I don't even know what's out there, right? Of course. Chad King says, do I wish I didn't have as much of a toxic group of people following me around so that I could basically play certain kinds of games like MMOs? Of course. Of course I do. I would love to play all kinds of games. I like MMOs. And in the day, I played EverQuest. I played World of Warcraft. I played City of Heroes, City of Villains. There was another one I played too. I forget. I played like multiple MMOs back in the day. I loved them. They're fun games. They're fun social interaction. But because MMOs don't seem to have protections against the trolling that I get, I can't play them. That sucks. That's unfortunate, right? Yeah, of course I wish I didn't have these toxic weirdos following me around to root and everything. It's really messed up. But what can I do? You live with it, right? My eye is itching me. Joel Loft, I don't have a Discord channel. Anyway, Joel Loft says, why not do Jackbox Party Pack games with people from your Discord channel? I don't even have a Discord channel. I don't know where this is coming from. Anyway. Yeah, Joel Loft, just for the same reasons that I can't play MMOs, is the same reason I can't have a Discord channel. It's exactly the same reason. Too much trolling. It's not worth the effort. Okay. Okay. All right, last chance for any questions, guys. We got to adjourn. I told you it was an impromptu quick video. Thanks for chilling here. Appreciate it. I am very happy we're done with Final Fantasy 16. I can't wait to play more games that people want to see more, Oh, my goodness. Oh. Nothing else? Everyone's saying that's it. We're taking off. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for watching. If you did happen to watch this on demand on YouTube as well. Peace out.